Hi there, everybody. I'm Linda Yu, and we are here in the Chicago Sun-Times kitchen. Welcome to Food We Love. This is a video series where we focus on the stories behind the food. And joining me today is Wells Kaufman. He's CEO and Executive Director of the Ravinia Festival, which we love. It's the oldest music festival in the country. Ravinia is definitely one of the most special happenings in our beautiful city, especially on a summer evening. So this summer, talk to me about what's absolutely the best, besides everything.
Yes,
okay?
of course.
But what highlights? Okay.
Well, of course, we're the summer home of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Yes.
This year celebrating the 100th birthday of the greatest American musician ever, Leonard Bernstein.
Okay.
So a lot of Lenny's works throughout the summer. We've got terrific recitalists, great conductors. Gustavo Dudamel, who may be the hottest conductor in the world, making his Ravinia debut with the CSO, with this gorgeous young pianist from our training program named Yuja Wang. Phenomenal, stiletto heels, mini dresses, plays like a demon.
Really?
Incredible, yeah. In terms of debuts, we've got about 85 premieres and debuts over the course of the summer. We like to keep it as fresh as possible.
Yes.
And still have Tony Bennett, of course,
and
Buddy Guy,
right. Yes.
of course,
okay.
and the Beach Boys, of course. But making their debut, Mary J. Blige,
Really?
Jill Scott and the Roots, Sugarland,
Sugarland, too.
Jason Mraz, all these wonderful artists from different parts of the musical world. We like to be something for everyone.
So you've been at Ravinia for...
This is my 18th season.
18
yeah.
already.
I was 6 when I started.
I was going to say 4.
Okay. I like that better.
And so it keeps it so fresh and exciting for you because you're thinking about the changes and the bringing
That's
in.
right.
And,
That's right. And because summers are more flexible for everybody in the world, but especially artists, one can book a little bit later, so you have a chance to really do surprising things. So the Mary J. Blige booking happened after our brochure had gone to print, which is always exciting when that happens.
Okay.
Absolutely right. So we hope people will come out for whatever they want to come out to and have a classical music experience because the prices for that, for the greatest orchestra in the world, the CSO, and then you're on the lawn.
I know, you're on the lawn. In fact, that's my feeling too.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit in the seats.
You don't.
You know?
It doesn't have to be church.
No.
It can be if you want it to
right.
be, and that's a great experience. But the lawn is Ravinia.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. I have to tell you that my favorite memory of sitting out on the lawn, my children were little then, and we were afraid that they might get, a little
Unruly.
restless, right? And not my children, never would have gotten
other people's kids.
Other people's kids, right? So we packed a picnic, dinner, and then we were all the way out to the back. And then at one point, I remember
in Wisconsin.
There, right.
Exactly.
But you could still hear the music.
That's perfect.
And then I remember that all of a sudden it seemed like everybody around us was not looking toward the stage. They were looking this way from me. And I looked over, and it was because my daughter was dancing to the music.
Beautiful.
And it's one of the best memories.
Those are
that's
the things.
What Ravinia's about.
It's a kids and families place to introduce people to different kinds of musics, but also to be together.
Yeah,
it's a place of community.
It certainly
really
is,
beautiful.
too. And you love it coming out here because your background was different musical organizations
All
out
over
in
the
California,
place.
right?
That's right. So I worked at the Los Angeles Philharmonic at the Music Center. I worked at the New York Philharmonic at Lincoln Center, the Atlanta Symphony, the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra. My mother used to like to say I couldn't keep a job. So this is the one that I actually have stuck with more than any other. But it's been a great ride.
You brought all that experience and context for us.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
all right.
right.
And one of the wonderful changes, in the last 18 years is the food that comes there. And we are, of course, all about food here. So there's all kinds of food options, but also, like I said, we came when we brought a picnic.
Sure.
Okay, so when you bring and you come with a picnic, what should you feel like I have to bring? What can I get while I'm there? What should we do?
You can supplement anything. So if you don't want to bring beverages because they're heavy, or you don't want to bring a cooler or something like that, you can do soft drinks, wine and beer. You can go to one of our bars and have a mixed drink if you wish. You can have everything in our grab and go. We have actually, our dining pavilion is opening up with new restaurants this summer. So we're going to have a lawn bar, a restaurant called Treetop, beautiful views upstairs overlooking the park.
Oh, okay, all right. And you said yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And you said
So there's white tablecloth, there's buffet, there's small plates, all sorts of options.
You love to cook.
I do.
Okay, so do you ever entertain people at Ravinia, or you do that at home? You do. Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually artists after a show.
Yeah.
So when you've worked in the business as long as I have, you get to know people pretty well. You get to know what they like, and what they really like is to not go to a restaurant.
Yes.
They like to take off their shoes. They like to relax.
And just relax after the
play with the
performance,
dogs.
Right.
Exactly.
And the performance, right.
That's
with
right.
your 2 great dogs.
The 2 great dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you love to do is something that you're going to show us
That's
how
right.
you make today.
That's
okay?
right. So growing up as a kid, we didn't have anything like what I'm about to show you. My parents were decent cooks. My dad loved the theater of cooking. So we always would go to Chinese restaurants in Oakland, California, and San Francisco, and sit at the bar and watch the wok cooking. Theater, great. This dish, which is just a very simple risotto, but it's a good, even in the summertime, it's hot and it's kind of heavy, but an artist who's just performed likes something hearty, right?
Yes.
You put a roast chicken with it, a salmon fillet, you're there. This dish was introduced to me by a boss of mine at the J. Paul Getty Trust, where I worked in LA. She had an Italian mom, movie star, father who was a real estate guy in Sardinia. She was absolutely gorgeous. She was the head of public affairs. And when we would have a rough day at the Getty Trust, which happened, we would drive into West Hollywood, go to an Italian restaurant, 3 in the afternoon. She knew all the chefs. She'd say, make the kids some risotto, and that was what would happen.
Oh, okay. And you fell in love with it?
I did.
And learned from those chefs?
I did. I got to go backstage, if you will, at the restaurant and see them stir. Because it's all about the stirring.
It's about stirring, right. Okay.
Completely.
So, how do you do it? And the ingredients are simple.
Very simple, very, very easy. And actually, you can't really go wrong if you get the stirring part right, right?
If you stir and
so
stir.
A little bit of oil, some butter.
So you start with this much.
Exactly.
You put it
in the pot.
Okay.
And just let that melt and let the oil get hot. Toss the onions in.
Okay.
Let them get a little golden and glazed.
Yes.
Then the yellow peppers. Let them get a little golden and glazed.
Okay.
The green beans have been blanched, so they're a little bit soft. They go in last.
Okay.
Get all that wonderful goo around them from the butter and the oil.
Okay.
Then the rice.
Then you put the rice in.
That's right.
Okay.
Coat all of it, and then you've got a pot of delicious chicken broth or vegetable broth or whatever you might want it to be.
Right.
You have that going next to the pot, and you start ladling it in slowly.
Okay. That's right. I remember
about a half an hour to 35 minutes.
A little bit, right, and then you stir and you
great
stir.
for the biceps.
A little bit more, and you stir and stir and
absolutely
stir.
right.
When I make risotto, I have to like stir and stir and stir, and then I got to switch over to this side.
Yes,
and
that's
stir.
also good.
Okay.
Yeah, it
And
keeps
then
you balanced.
It builds, right?
There, perfect. Exactly
Okay.
right.
And then you've got it, right?
Yep.
So, and we're going to show it right here. We've got it.
And of course, you finish it with cheese and more butter.
And then
and salt
more
and pepper
butter
to taste.
too. So that's what. Okay. So you just put it in, and then you mix in the.
That's right.
Mix in the cheese.
That's right. And the whisk is the base. So you've been stirring with a spatula. The whisk is the best way to get that creaminess. And you don't have to put too much salt in it when you're cooking it because there's salt in the cheese.
In there's. Oh, okay. That's great. So we've got some.
Look at that beautiful stuff. Thank you.
Here, and there's one for you.
Thank you very much.
And there's one for me. Okay. And it's healthy too.
Very healthy. Yes. This is all cauliflower. It's actually not rice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. So
shall we
try this?
Okay. Butter.
Butter. Right.
Cheese.
Butter, cheese.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yummy risotto. Okay. So this is great. So remember, if you didn't catch all of that, it's an easy recipe.
Simple.
Just remember the stirring, okay?
Yeah.
It's also going to be part of a perfect Ravinia picnic, or like you entertain at home with it too. You can get the recipe on the Chicago Sun-Times website. Search for Food We Love. You'll find lots of recipes like this and many, many more. And I hope you watch all of them and share them with your friends and family. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Bye. For this yummy recipe and so much more, go to the Chicago Sun-Times website. The address is right here on your screen.